All right, so I got a long drive ahead of me. I'm on my way to Chicago to do a photo shoot in the morning, and then luckily I'm not going to games until late tomorrow night, which is I want to say it's the Wittenberg girls are playing. So I wanted to just update on this game or whatever, while it's still fresh on my memory. Yo, man, look. Taking two big losses like that, and I'm not about to mince words either, taking two big losses like that, I can understand how that must feel, especially for players who have been on this team for a while. I can understand the frustration and all of that, but listen, man, it's important not to take these losses and dwell on them, okay? I knew that coming into this season that this was going to be a team that had to figure itself out again. I mean, last season, you lost a lot of girls, like a lot of key players for this team, man. A lot of those key players have graduated, so now it's just a matter of figuring things out, figuring out where all the pieces to this puzzle go, and it's something that I know for sure that you girls are going to figure out. There's a ton of intelligent players on this team. You have an intelligent coaching staff. This is going to be figured out, okay? Like, it may not happen in this next game. It may not, we'll see what happens. You use the games like when you girls play against, no offense to teams like Springfield, but honestly, those are the type of games that you use to figure out what works and what doesn't work. It's just that with this Springboro game, I stand by what I said, where I said that defensively they're a lot stronger than they are offensively. It's just that after that first goal, it seemed like the energy just kind of shifted. You know what I'm saying? And you girls kind of just let them take the game after that. It's important just to keep playing. It's important to keep playing, man. Shake that goal off. Forget about it. Act like it didn't even happen. You know what I'm saying? And then that second one, what was the second? Was that the PK? That's just unlucky, man. And then that third one, that was just a defensive breakdown, It's stuff like that, little tiny things, man, that eventually you girls are going to figure out. Eventually, a lot of these little errors are going to start to correct themselves as this season progresses. Keep in mind that this is still early in the season. This is the last day in August. We still have all of September to go through, half of October right before the tournament starts. So, shake this off, man. It's going to be all right, Up next, you girls have M&D. So you can't, I don't want you to go into that M&D game, with these two losses on your mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't go into that game like that, because you can't enter any type of competition like that. You feel what I'm saying? And for you younger players, let me address some of y'all really quick. And I usually don't like to bring up my own, history when it comes to sports, because I never like to feel like I'm bragging about stuff. But let me explain something, man. When I first started playing on a semi-pro soccer team, I was extremely intimidated, okay? Because I was a kid. I was 14 years old playing with a bunch of grown men. These is 18 through like 21, 22-year-olds, Some of them was even older than that, and I was a kid. I was the youngest player on the team. The only other kid on the team, he was a little bit older than I was. So it was intimidating, man. I couldn't really get myself going. I went to the practices. At the practices, I looked great. I know I did. I was getting tons of praise from the coaches and the players, and and then like the scrimmages came, I still felt pretty good, And then when it came time for game time, like the actual game, I couldn't perform like I wanted to because I was so nervous. Those nerves was getting the better of me, so I ended up getting benched. And it made me so mad. Like I'm 14, you got to understand. Like at the time, like I'm not an emotional person at all, but at the time it made me want to cry because I've never ever been on the like a bench player. I never came off the bench before, so I felt like I was just doing really bad. And I just couldn't get anything going. I would usually start as a center attacking mid, but I just kept messing up, man. I was turning the ball over a lot, and I was making poor decisions, mainly because I was playing very hastily, and I was just nervous. You know, it took me a while to get over that. So I got subbed out. I got replaced by who would have been the starting center mid in the first place, because we used to actually run like dual center attacking mids. We were attacking style team, but you know, I was supposed to have been, you know, no offense to that guy, but I was skill-wise, I was better than him. But when it came time for the game, they didn't see that. You know, I was messing up so bad. So I got benched, and I was so frustrated with myself because of that. And it took me a while, man. It took me, I want to say, probably about 3 or 4 games before I started really getting settled in, you know. Eventually, that player that replaced me, he got injured, so I had to come in and take his spot anyway. So, but after that, like 3rd or 4th game, you know, things changed. You know, I started being a lot more comfortable, and you know, I let the game come to me, as you know, the coaches and them were telling me to do. So you know, for some of you newer players who might be feeling that, you know, might be feeling that intimidation, you know, just, you know, getting thrown into high school soccer. It's a lot faster paced and stuff, you know. So, you know, I'm just letting you know, man, just take your time, wait for it to come to you, because it will. You know, all you have to do is keep working, and it will come to you. But anyway, back to talking about this Springboro game. You girls owned a lot of that first half. You did. You were putting together some pretty solid runs. You had some good looks, man, especially on the perimeter, on the outside of the field. You were beating your defenders almost every single time. So that's the kind of things that I'm talking about on my Instagram post when I say, when you notice that you're winning those battles, there's no reason not to keep going to them. Keep the ball on the ground. Those lob passes aren't going to work, okay? And see, there's certain teams that those lob passes just don't work against, because they're so quick at stepping in and breaking it up. So sometimes you just have to keep the ball on the ground. Use those dribbling skills. You don't practice those for no reason, okay? And especially notice when you're beating the defenders. I mean, on the entire side of the field that where I was standing at, you girls kept beating your defenders every single time up the field. You were getting good looks, solid looks. So, you know, and then you kind of got away from that, and I'm not really exactly sure why. But you just got away from it. And, you know, energy is contagious, man. After that first goal, it felt like the whole energy, it just felt weird after that. I don't know what it was, you know. That goal came from nothing but a miscommunication, that first one. So, you know, so, I mean, stuff like that, you just got to shake off and keep playing. You know, that second one, after the second goal, the energy just died down really fast. I mean, you could feel it in the atmosphere that the energy was just gone. And that came from a penalty kick, you know. I mean, you know, things like that happen, man. This is still, like I said, still early in the season. So it's not something that I would dwell on if I were you. You know, I know that your coaches are going to figure this out for you. You know, so it's just a matter of correcting all the small things, you know. In the center of the field, you girls have got to remember to keep your feet moving. There was a couple of times when, like, say Ella got control of the ball, or Ava got control of the ball. Ava's been playing really great, by the way. Sometimes you girls are kind of just standing there right next to your defender, no effort in trying to lose them at all. So you have to remember to keep your feet moving, especially in the center of the field where you're constantly having to open up new passing lanes. And if you're on the defensive side, if you're the ones being attacked and they have you backpedaling, you have to remember to close passing lanes in the center of the field. You can't allow them to get good touches like that, okay? That's what happened with that Milford game. That's why that turned out the way that it did. And if you're not careful with this M&D game coming up, this weekend, it's going to be like that too. You have got to remember to keep your feet moving. Stay aware of where you're standing at. Stay aware of where the defenders are. Stay aware of your marks if you're defending at the current time, and stay aware of where you are offensively. Constantly check your shoulders. It doesn't matter what position you're playing. Constantly check your shoulders, okay? Because a lot of these girls, they had you marked, you know, I mean, it was almost too easy for them to come in and break up some of these passes. So that's why you just have to keep your feet moving, become less predictable, become a lot less, a lot harder to anticipate, you know. But I promise you, it's something that you girls are going to figure out. I have complete confidence in this team. I know that this is going to be a solid team once it gets itself together. I know that it will. And like I said, you girls got all through September to go through. And most of those games are, I'm not going to try to jinx anything, but you know, I think you have Mason on your schedule this year and Lakota West. Those two are going to be tough, but you know, most of the other games are fairly easy ones. So, you know, just use this, man. Use this. You know, if anything, to me, losses were always kind of a motivational kind of thing for me. I hated losing so bad. So, you know, I hope that you girls figure this out. I know that you will. I have complete faith in you. I have faith in your coaches. So I know that it's something you girls are going to figure out. And I really hope that these two losses are not, I hope you're not dwelling on these two losses too much. It's something that's going to happen sometimes, okay? You girls are going to figure this out, I promise you. So, you know, I'll see y'all at the next one. Oh, man, I forgot about the Centerville one. So, yeah, you have a couple of tough ones coming up. You know, M&D, Centerville, Lakota West, and who did I say? Mason. Yeah, I think you play Mason. I might be tripping. But, yeah, so, you know, it'll come to you, man. Just, you know, stay focused. Stay focused.